Good afternoon and welcome to this week's office hours. My name is Austin Burgin. I am the product manager for PAI Reports. Today we're going to be going over our portfolio overview tool, and then I'm going to be showing off some report customization that you can do. I think a lot of people know that you can customize reports, but I wanted to kind of show that off in case there was anybody out there that didn't know that you can customize reports. And then I'm going to open it up for a Q&A. And the questions don't have to be about what I cover today. If they are, that's great. If they're not, we can go over it just the same. So let's go ahead and kick this thing off. I already have it on our homepage. It is our portfolio overview. This is kind of what it looks like. If you don't have it on your homepage, I'm going to show you how to add that. I'm going to go ahead and delete it here. So anytime we want to add something to our homepage, what we're going to do is we're going to hit our add up here. This add button has a little plus icon. Once we hit that, we get a list of widgets that you can add to your homepage. We can either scroll through this list to find our portfolio overview, or I can go ahead and start typing in the word portfolio, and it'll filter those results down. I know we want to add our portfolio overview, so I'm going to go ahead and hit this plus icon. That's going to pop it up right on our homepage. But if you don't like where this is placed, you can hit this unlock button, and we can actually drag and drop this anywhere we want. If we want it kind of below this, we can have it there. I kind of like it at the top. The portfolio overview tool is really a way for you to kind of track how your portfolio is doing within a month. Kind of at a glance. Everything's kind of right in front of you. So I like it at the top. Every time I log in, I can see it right away. So you can see right now, we have a lot of zeros here. Well, why do we have a lot of zeros? It's because we have to tell this portfolio overview what we want to be tracking. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a revenue source. Right? I can click this button. Okay, so I have our bank account here. I'm going to go ahead and select bank account. I can also do check. If you're paid by check and you want to track that, you can use that. I'm going to go ahead and select bank account. Now we get a search for our bank account. I'm just going to go ahead and select a test bank account that we have that has good transactions on it. Once I look that up, I can hit select. And then now we can start tracking that revenue. Well, I can see that our transaction volume is still zeros. So now I want to add a transaction source. So I know that this bank account is built on our test user. So I'm going to go ahead and track the transactions on that test user. So I'm going to go in here, hit add, and I'm going to look up our test business. You will be looking up your own business or a downline's business. I'm going to hit select. And then now we're fully set up, right? And we can add as many revenue sources or as many transaction sources as we want. If our portfolio is pretty wide, we can do that. We can also add as many of these portfolio overview widgets on our homepage as we want. I'm going to go ahead and keep it simple and just keep it to one. So right off the bat, we can see some numbers here, and we can see that our revenue is tracking our daily surcharge, it's tracking our monthly surcharge, it's tracking our interchange programs, wireless debits. So if you have like a wireless box, it's going to display that, and our miscellaneous debit. And everything is based off of the month that's selected. It defaults to this month. If you want to see this month, we can also change that to last month, in this case, March, and we can see what happened last month. I'm going to keep that on March here. So I can see in the month of March, as far as revenue goes, we earned just over $4,000 in daily surcharge, just over $200 in monthly surcharge, interchange, $98, right? And we can see a total there. We also have this button here, details by day. And that details by day will let us see a little graph that shows us per day what was earned. So I can see right off the bat, I mean, man, the second was clearly the highest on our daily surcharge. I can hover over that and I can see what the dollar amount there was. I can see our lows and our highs here. I can also see that for our monthly surcharge. Man, it looks like we had some sort of Reg E or something on the 4th that charged us $1.30. I can also see that for interchange. We can see our interchange highs and lows of what's getting paid out. And then this is kind of my favorite part, is our programs. We can actually start tracking what programs are paying us out. So programs, I can see our programs here. So within the month of March, I can track our DCC performance. I can see that we earned $11.52 within the month of March. I can see that there's one terminal that paid us that. I can click this button here for participating terminals, and that's going to bring us to a report that just shows us which terminals are participating in DCC. I can go back here. I can see a product overview. So if I'm not sure exactly what this DCC thing is, I can click that. There's a nice little video that explains what DCC is. I can also hit this Enroll Now button. I can see this nice graph that we have 56 terminals. Looks like a lot of them are not enrolled, so I can hit this Enroll button and go through the process of actually opting these in. If you don't know which terminals are not enrolled, you can hit this Participating Terminals button. That'll bring us to that Terminal Programs report. And right now we're looking for they are participating. We want to just go ahead and change that to no, run that, and now we have a list of terminal numbers and location names of terminals that are not participating. Going back here, that's DCC. We have MasterCard Cash Pickup. You can see not a huge revenue source for us in the month of March. Same thing with Pop Money, B for You, Surcharge segmentation. It looks like we had 60 transactions, but we're not really earning any of that. So it's a good place for you to kind of go and see how much money you're earning on that terminal. You get that nice little graph. Also, you can track all of these different graphs here for how much money on what day you're earning. That is our revenue section. Now let's go over here to our transaction volume. So transaction volume tracks surcharge withdrawal transactions, non-surcharge withdrawal, denied transactions, balance inquiries, and transfers. I can see that, in the month of March, 2 transfers happened. It also gives us a total here. So this little test business had 2,000, just over 2,000 transactions in the month of March. We also can see the average amounts coming out of the machines in that time frame. We can see our average transaction amount is $76, while our surcharge withdrawal average is $110. People are pulling out on average $110 per transaction. Withdrawals are a little bit lower. Non-surcharge withdrawal, denied transactions, you can see on typically for a denied and transfer, we're not earning anything. Another thing that this thing shows is our top performer. So I can see here our casino is pumping through transactions, 668 transactions in the month of March. That is a great location. $61,000 was dispensed. And then I can also see who's getting the least amount of denied transactions. And it looks like it's this tattoo shop at 0% denied transactions. So great location, no issues at that machine. I can also see our bottom performers. So this smoker friendly here is only doing 13 transactions a month. It's only dispensing that much cash. And I can see that this Prior Creek bar, man, that thing's at 35% denied. That's a large number. I might want to go to that machine and figure out what's happening. Is it a card reader issue? Is it a dispenser issue? And maybe we can get that fixed and see that number drop. I'll go ahead and show you kind of month over month. We can see that, man, consistently, this Lucky Diamond is always up there. Looks like we have a different bottom performer for amount of transactions declined or denied, I should say. So it's a good place for you to kind of see a real quick overview on how am I doing this month? Am I doing good? Did I see a huge drop? I hope you didn't. But it's a good place for you to kind of at a glance see that. So that's our portfolio overview. I think the people that know about it and use it love it. Anytime you want to track a revenue source, you do have to add that in, and I can add in any number of bank accounts I want, and same thing on our transaction source. I can add in as many businesses as I want to track. So if I have 5 different bank accounts, I kind of want to track all of that. You can either add another widget here or just continue and just add more of them onto this. That's our performance or our portfolio overview. And then now I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to how to customize a report. So I'm going to just go to our ATM monitoring report, which is our terminal status. It shows you the current balance in the machine, the projected kind of end of day balance, and then, some basic information. Let's say I wanted to, change the order of this report. At any point, I can hit this customize report button up here, and that'll pull up a little window. I can change the name, and I can call this like Austin is cool. And I can either set it as a desktop default. So anytime I go to the terminal status report, do I want this report to pop up? Same thing on the phone. Some reports, you might not want every column on there on your phone. You just want something quick. So you can create a custom mobile view and a custom desktop view. We also have auto run. So anytime I press the button, do I want it to just run the report, or do I want to actually have to go in here and click run report? Let's get that pulled back up. Austin is cool. I just really want you guys to know I'm cool. Favorite, I can add that to my list of favorited reports. I can also adjust how many rows per page, how many terminals I can see without having to click next page. So I'll go ahead and bump that up to 200. Now I can go to the next tab here, which is our columns tab. Here I can change the order. So if I want group to appear first, I can do that. I can also make group visible or hidden. And then I can go in here and I can actually type in like, I only want to see any group that starts with NP. I could add that in there. We also have a way to add columns. So if I hit the add column button, you can see there's now a blank column here. And if I hit the drop down, this is a list of every column that you could potentially add to this report. So I can see active disputes. I can add the address. I can add cassette balance, and it kind of breaks it down to, I want to see cassette A, cassette B, C, D. I can see all that information. I can add the county. I can add the customer code. There's a lot of different options, and I highly suggest you kind of go through here and read through this list. I think one that a lot of customers like to add is today's float. So I'm going to go ahead and add that here. Today's float is basically how much cash I can expect to be deposited into my bank account once settlement is closed. Obviously, today's a Friday, and so settlement is probably not going to hit your bank account until Monday. But you can add that in there, and it'll just tell you like, yeah, today you can expect from this terminal $200, right, or $3,000. Another one that I might suggest people add is our route here. So if you are using the route field on the terminal details page and you typed it in as like route A, and you wanted to kind of track and kind of manage, like I only want to see route A or route B, whichever route, whatever you named your route, you can add that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep today's float. Last column here is how do I want to sort this terminal? Do I want to sort it by the terminal number? Do I want to sort it by the float amount, today's float? I'm going to do that and do ascending or descending. I want to see the largest dollar amount up at the top, so that's descending. So I've named this. I'm going to make it a favorite report, customized, and with a desktop default. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save New. So now that report's made, and if I go back to our home page here, and I click on our ATM monitoring, because I've made that a desktop default, when I click this button, it's going to take me right back to that customized report. And I did sort it by our float. And so I'm going to go ahead and run that. I can see that today's float, I can see like $340, $1,220. I can see all that information there. That kind of helps me understand what I can expect to see in my bank account towards the end of it. So $16,000. Now, this information, I will say real quick, this is our kind of based on our real time. This is not settlement data. So some of these transactions potentially have reversed, or there's a lot of factors in there. So this is what our best guess is that you should expect. The best way to see is once settlement has closed and we get that settlement file from the processor, that's actually what you're going to see in your bank account. So that's how you customize a report, and there's a lot of different columns. Like if I go to our ATM list here, I hit customize report, go to the columns. Like this this report, there's a lot of customization you can do. Our ATM list, there's a lot of different columns, and you can really customize this thing and make it your own to show exactly what you want to see. So that's how you customize a report if you were unaware. And I think with that, we can go ahead and switch this over to Q&A. So if you have any questions about PAI reports or anything that I covered here today, please shoot them in the chat, and I will answer them as best I can. One thing that I covered in the past was our My Action Items. My Action Items is kind of becoming a place where you can see any outstanding items that you might have for your ATM portfolio. So I can see here that we have some TR31 hardware compliance, some keypads that need to get swapped out. I can also see that I have a low cash terminal here at Big Spring Brewery. Let me go into the gear here for the My Action Items and show you all of the different things that could potentially pop up, because you can always turn them off. If you're tired of seeing that TR31 hardware, I can go in here and say I don't want to see those, and I can hit save, and now that won't display to me. But we have Reg E chargebacks, EMV chargebacks, call tickets, workflows, wizards, scheduled reports, inactive terminals. We have a lot of things on here that could potentially be shown to you. It's a phenomenal widget, especially when it comes to Reg Es. If you wanted to track any sort of open Reg E that we were unable to either pull the journal through RMS, or if you don't have it in RMS and you need to go retrieve that. Speaking of RMS, we are actively updating RMS. I'm hoping that we can start showing that off here relatively soon. The RMS tool, we're kind of creating two of them. There's going to be a desktop version and then kind of like a mobile version. The mobile version is going to be like for your quick actions, and we kind of designed it with the idea that you should be able to use this tool while driving down the highway and just like, I need to reboot this machine, pull it up, hit reboot. The desktop version, we're adding in a ton of functionality into it. So it's going to be normal RMS server. So if you're used to using the Gen RMS system or the MonoView system, you're going to get pretty much full access to those systems, but on PAI reports. Part of the reason we're doing this, because one of the biggest issues with RMS is you have to be in front of your computer. You have to be able to log into that RMS server. Now all you have to do is log in the PAI reports, and you can set fast cache amounts. You can set receipt headers. You can set anything remotely. You can reboot machines. You can reboot wireless boxes. It's going to be a really cool and powerful tool. I guess while we're waiting, one thing I will show. This came up at actually the Market Partner Conference. I was a little shocked that more people didn't know about this, but it's not very advertised, I guess. But we have all of these open wizards here, and I can see every wizard that I've opened up, and I can see the status there. Well, all of these are incomplete. If I have no intention of going back to this back to this wizard and finishing that modified terminal wizard, I can hit this trash can icon and I can delete that wizard. And then that'll actually remove it from the website. So there is a lot of questions down at the Market Partner Conference on how they can quickly delete these wizards. And this is by far the fastest way to just manage any partially completed wizard that you might have. So I think with that, since we have no questions, give you guys some time back and we can all have a good weekend. Well, I appreciate you guys joining. My email address is right there-ish, I think. So if you have any questions, concerns, or comments about PAI reports or anything that you would like to see developed that could help you manage your portfolio any better, feel free to just shoot me an email, and I'd love to set up a time to talk with you. I'll bring along our user experience designer and a developer, and we'll just kind of talk it through with you, figure out exactly what you're looking for and how that would help you out. Again, thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks.